All right, everybody, welcome in. Welcome in, Shock, Commodore Friday, Zero the Fool. And that's everybody so far. Oh, Nathan, welcome in. And yeah, we're about to get started with our Score Attack Community Showcase. We're going to be hosting a slew of matches between our community members on our Discord. So if you want to join, be sure to join early so that you can get a match in at discord.gg/enhance. And you can see a link to the thread on the events tab or in the announcements channel. And yeah, we're gonna be getting started here with Trashman, aka Logan, versus Jabberox to start things off. Nathan asking, Pac-Man asking, is this the soundtrack? You're going to be killing me. You'll be having a heart attack playing to this song. Yeah, this is Mind Echoes from the soundtrack. There are some variations between the in-game songs and the mastered editions on the soundtrack. But do not fret. We'll be listening to the reggae Score Attack music while we're playing here tonight. But feel free to make a suggestion for next week. If you want something less intense, there's plenty of chill music on the soundtrack as well. Good day, Jabberox. And yeah, once you are in here, Jabberox, we're gonna get started. Hopefully you all are ready for the weekend. I know I am. This is usually one of my last things I do before the weekend, so this big smile on my face. I'm ready for it. Yes, thank you, Farox, with the totally legit room code there. Welcome in, Coffee and Tetris. And yeah, I think we have, low-key, we have a lot of matches tonight. Not everyone is chatting in the thread, but I see we have a lot of people queued up. So yeah, let's get to it. Just be ready to play when you are up next in the queue. I believe up next we'll have Pac-Man versus Nathan. So just be ready to hop in after Jabberox and Trashman play here. Hello, Twitch chat and or YouTube. Okay, so I think Jabberox is in here. When you're ready, Jabberox, I'm ready. And good luck, have fun. We'll be doing first to ones, and of course if we have any super early top outs or anything like that. I feel like you don't really have that in Score Attack compared to like Classic, so mostly first to ones, and a first one can last a while. So okay, but anyone have any fun weekend plans? Any new games you're playing? I know Silksong is all the craze recently. Did I talk about Silksong last week? I started playing the OG Hollow Knight, which has been really fun. But yeah, what games are you all playing? If you're playing Tetris, what's new in your Tetris world? And Jabberox ready up, so I don't have to keep stalling here. There we go. You're back on Mario Kart 8. Very nice. I had a stint with Mario Kart 8. I feel like I haven't played that in years. The last like racing game I played was probably F-Zero 99. I like the whole F-Zero series. I was trying to get into Wipeout recently, but it was on PS Plus. Didn't quite get into it. I am ready, Jabberox, if you're listening. Jabberox and Trashman. There we go. Okay. Let's hop into some score attack. The asynchronous 1v1 mode. You're not going to be necessarily throwing garbage to each other's boards, but you can make adaptations to your gameplay depending on how the opponent is doing. And yeah, same goes for the classic Tetris World Championships. Players are going to have the same piece set, so they'll strategize. There is no luck per se. Maybe you might have like a luck after a misdrop or something like that. So it's going to come down to strategy, how you handle the same pieces, and when your opponent misdrops, maybe less so in score attack. Well, actually, even in score attack, I feel like the big thing is like how do you manage your mistakes and continue to be efficient? Because it's all about continuing to Tetris and T-spin and score attack so that you get that back-to-back score bonus to garner a lead over your opponent. And then, of course, in the late game, once we approach it, your ability to handle high gravity is a great way to get a leg up against your opponent. Even if you are less efficient, if you know you can get into the late game further or get some extra levels to get some extra line clears, that can also net you the win. And last thing, I guess, speed can be a factor because when someone tops out, there is a 2-minute timer for you to get caught up. So if you are behind by, say, 50 lines because your opponent's playing a lot faster, and thus they have more score, even if they're playing less efficient, they might have more score because they're just simply playing faster. Just have to kind of keep that in mind, and maybe if you are a slower player, take some risk and just try to move more quickly, or just continue that efficiency to get caught up. But Jabberox here on the left, behind by 23k, still pretty early. Looks like Trashman is mixing in some T-spin doubles here, which is the name. It's not the name of the game. The name of the game is score attack, but it is an advised strategy. It's the most efficient play you can make in score attack, especially coupled with that back-to-back bonus, because one T-spin double is virtually worth the same amount as a Tetris, and it's worth even more when you factor in you're going to be getting more back-to-back bonuses due to the 2-line clear nature of it. Score attack has gravity levels beyond 20, which can be practiced in master mode. Yeah, you can also practice it locally in multiplayer if you would like, against the CPU. And you can start on whichever level you would like to, aside from the post 20. You can start at 29 at max. But yeah, master mode is good practice for high gravity, 100%. I am not familiar with Planet Puzzle League. Is that a game I should be familiar with? But it looks like these players are playing at a similar pace in terms of speed. Trashman is nabbing more efficiency due to the T-spin double inclusion. However, if Jabberox can keep the back-to-back and keep things simple, maybe Logan will have trouble maintaining that T-spin setup at higher gravity. So we'll see how things play out here. Then also a fun fact, I guess because score attack levels start at level 1, they're offset by the classic score attack levels by 1 level. So the same level that's level 9, classic score attack is level 10 in score attack. It kind of throws me off every time because I played a lot of classic score attack. All right, So hitting that level 11, we got some music mix up in here. Sound effects are a little different as well. And we'll have another sound mix up at level 21 if we get there. I just noticed the background animation is off, so I might recreate the lobby here. Just gonna turn off the settings. But also the backgrounds change depending on the level. Okay, so Jabberox up high, has a double Tetris here. Decides to build it onto the left, though. I'm not sure if you're going to have... Okay, you have that one long bar. You should be okay. Totally not over. Trashman does have quite a lead, thanks to the T-spinning. But if Jabberox can keep up the Tetrises here on a high gravity, who knows? Logan is hunting for... Ooh, that T-spin triple setup's a little too high. And that's part of the difficulty of score attack, is maintaining efficiency in a high gravity and hitting the T-spin doubles. And I'm sure we'll see some ST stacking today, which is the go-to strategy that we see in TECWC, our in-house Tetris Effect Connected World Championship. Simply due to the consistency you get with the stacking and just the back-to-back nature that it grants you with the T-spin doubles. Jabberox is closing the gap a little bit, especially since that T-spin triple goof up. It looks like Logan is kind of hopping into a 0-9 well. So having your well, you do not want a well in the center in high gravity, simply due to your piece is going to land right in the center. And even we just saw it there with the T-spin notch in the center that Logan was going for. It's just a little tricky to maintain. You're going to have really precise control and knowledge of the rotation system in order to piece crawl around if you do want to center well. There are going to be some sequences that are just not possible in the center well. But Jabberox is running into some trouble as well. Maybe the post level 15 here catching up with them. See if Jabberox can survive, because Logan's not really doing so hot either, so it's going to come down to survival. Although Trashman, aka Logan, does have quite the score lead. But 3 or 4 Tetrises and Jabberox could be back into this. Welcome in, Twizz. You playing tonight? Oh, Panel de Pon, okay. I didn't realize there was a third name for it. How did I not know that? I usually refer to it as Panel de Pon or, yeah, Tetris Attack. Thing is, I didn't own Tetris Attack, and then a lot of players in the community just refer to it as Panel de Pon, so... But it's on the Switch Virtual Console, right? All right, both players in trouble here as we get into post level 20. Where things get really hairy is going to be level 25 if the players get there. That's when the lock delay significantly increases per level. Or I'm sorry, I guess it would shorten. So your Tetramino will lock in quicker if it's not moving or rotating. All right, Jabberox is hanging in there. This is winnable, but you would have to be able to seriously pop off here. And judging by the board state, it's going to be quite difficult, but yeah, let's play it out, see what kind of score we get. This Trashman's putting on a pretty good game here for game 1. Oh, and there it is. GG. Feel free to play it out since we are already at these late levels. Okay, good sportsmanship. Going to top out. And thanks for kicking it off, you two. An S rank and an SS, and this is considered one of our lower ranked matches tonight, so we have a lot of good players tonight. Yeah, thank you two for kicking it off and for playing. Next up, we're going to have Pac-Man and Nathan, I believe. Let me recreate the lobby really quick. Could join, but I don't play ranked, so... I got it. Yeah, especially on score attack, I know the rating can be a little hit or miss to reflect your skill level. But don't be shy. I mean, unlike zone battle, you're not necessarily going to be putting garbage on your opponent's side, so... I think with this mode, if there's mismatches, let's just keep it casual, try to hang out. And you can always play your own game. That's honestly a good way to approach the score attack and classic score attack modes. Is just like almost think of it as single player until you get to a point where you're like, in classic you get to a point where it's like you can look at your opponent's incoming pieces, for example, or change how you play depending on when they top out, stuff like that. But at first, just think of that almost like you're playing single player until like I guess a 2-minute timer might be the biggest thing early on. Okay, let me change my settings real quick. Okay, I think that should do it. Gotta make a new room code. Okay, so Pac-Man and Nathan, you've been tagged with the room code. And when you two are ready, I'm ready. Yeah, yeah, we do have some players that don't really like to play ranked, I guess, for the, there could be a lot of reasons for it, but I respect that. Yeah, it shouldn't match you with a casual player, but Twizz can throw down. Twizz is underselling their abilities. All right, Nathan and Pac-Man, I'm ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. Yeah, I don't expect you to type during your match here, Nathan. Made a post in Discord. Let's see. The I'm so inconsistent that it hurts title. I think we can all relate to that to some degree. I can certainly relate to that. All right, so Pac-Man on the left, Nathan on the right with a level 9 start. Very nice. Good luck. Have fun. Okay, so both players are going for what's known as the 0-9 or 9-0L. I know we say this every time. If you're a regular, bear with me, but we always have new people tuning in. So when I say 9-0L, it means that you have 9 columns to the left of the well, and your open well is to the furthest most right. Excuse me. If you have a 0-9 well, it means your well is furthest to the left side of the matrix. But yeah, that's just a good notation for, say, 6-3, 7-2, in order to just quickly say where the column is on the board rather than just having to like count it or be like this column 6, 7, 8. Yeah, starting off, I recommend just trying out 9-0 stacking, going for the Tetrises, maintaining back-to-back, and then from there, once you have the good fundamentals, when it's for consistent 9-0 stacking, you can start to mix in some T-spins, maybe use what's called the Kaiden setup, which is known as like a stairs setup with propping a Z piece or S piece against the wall in order to get a T-spin double. Or try some Tetris well setups where the well is not against the furthest most left or right side to mix in more spins, and maybe even go for a new sprint record, which 6-3 is very good for doing. Nathan was pretty high up on the board there for a minute. I think Nathan's trying to employ speed. Whether they mean to or not, they are employing speed over Pac-Man here, if that were to come into play. So if Nathan is the first to top out, that would mean Pac-Man would have 2 minutes to catch Nathan's score. What I should do, I don't know why I've just thought of this after all this time. I need to set it up, so I know there's a bot. I think Nightbot might be. Can Nightbot do it? I'm not sure. But I could set it up where YouTube chat can see the Twitch chat and vice versa. Built in, I believe, using a bot. Maybe for next time. And yeah, so Pac-Man now gravitating towards that 2-7 well, for example. So two columns to the left and 7 columns to the right of the well. Nathan's still up pretty high here. Maybe just started off with misdrops and kind of rolling with it. So a little bit of freestyling, mixing in T-spin doubles here. That being said, since Nathan is about nearly 30 lines in the future here, Pac-Man's not all that far behind when you think about it. Pac-Man's playing efficiently from here, should kind of catch up to Nathan, but Nathan can still apply pressure via that 2-minute timer if it comes into play. All right, nice clean stack from Pac-Man. Nathan actually bringing the board down quite a bit here. Finds a nice T-spin single, and it translates well into that T-spin on the right side here. There we go, sets it up. Still anybody's game. Pac-Man can maintain some efficiency here. Despite being a little bit slower, can maybe use a cleaner board state to their advantage. So we'll see how this plays out. Also, these later gravity levels may come into play. I think Nathan might be a quicker player, which can translate into being a little more adept at high gravity. My favorite part of players being a little bit different in speed, or one player having a speed advantage, is to see the different color variations mixed up here. Unless you're using the traditional block skin, which I do as well, but for spectating purposes, I prefer people using the customized skin because it looks very nice. Alright, so Nathan almost about to change the music up for us. Once we hit level 21, we'll have some different sound effects and different music in the background, and just different background effects as well. And Pac-Man... Okay, the score discrepancy is kind of adding up a bit. I think namely due to Pac-Man just having trouble keeping efficient on these higher level speeds. But play it out. Never know what's going to happen. As Nathan, yeah, getting some singles, but just having trouble maintaining a nice clean stack here on high gravity. Does find this T-spin double. So even though they're a little bit scrappy, it's okay to have to take skims and make mistakes if you are netting these T-spins. Because if you have 2 line burns, but you also get a T-spin, that's still probably more efficient than a Tetris. Just keep in mind. The only issue, I guess the only advantage of Tetrising, if you're a scrappy player when it comes to T-spin, is you're getting the back-to-back bonus more consistently. But that can be done with T-spinning. It's just a little trickier in high gravity without some elaborate setup such as ST stacking. Welcome in video game history. I love Tetris. I love Tetris Effect too. Hey, me too. Welcome in creative name. How are you doing? Pretty good. I am ready for this weekend, personally. And I hope some of you can also relate, depending on your job field, I guess. I'll have some busy weekends coming up with Luminous Arise. We'll be doing some weekend events and stuff like that for sure. Hope you all are excited for that. So Nathan approaching this post level 25. This is when the gravity really kicks in, so we'll see if Nathan can keep up with the increased or the shortened lock delay. Ooh, and yeah, 26. I think 26 is where it really gets a lot of people, even like high level players, if you don't practice the say master mode or any high gravity Tetris. Even then, like post level 25, if you can play really safe or like consistent, you can move the piece around like we see Nathan doing, right? As you could on like marathon level 15 or endless marathon. But with score attack and or master mode, it just keeps on getting harder. So Pac-Man, you have a lot of score to get caught up on, but see if you can at the least get a high level here. Yeah, you can join us. We're on our Discord at discord.gg/enhance. We may have a full group tonight of players, but just make sure you have the community event role selected. And yeah, this is open to players of any skill level. And we usually do this on Fridays if nothing else is going on. But like I said, we do have a game coming out in November that our team is very, very focused on, Luminous Arise. But hey, we'll be doing similar events for that game as well. So open to community members of all skill levels. Ooh. Getting up there. Let's see if Pac-Man can stay alive until the time runs out. Now it's can you survive for 30 seconds? We have a little mini game here. And unfortunately, no. But GG. Nicely played, Nathan. And nicely played, Pac-Man. And Pac-Man, I know, usually likes to continue to find matches. By the way, yeah, if you just want to find some people to play with in our Discord, now's a good time to do it. If you're looking for matches in between. Or if you're not on stream and you're looking for a match, just be in that community showcase thread. All right. So up next, who is up next? I believe Coffee and Tetris versus Social Arsonist. Interesting name. All right. Cool. And when you two are ready in the lobby, I'll get feel free to ready up, and I'm ready when you two are. Good luck, have fun. So maybe if I should get Sonic. Oh yeah, I'll repurpose that question. If anyone's playing any new games or anything, feel free to share. I've been playing through the first Hollow Knight. Probably going to check out I know there's a Elden Ring Night Rain update yesterday. Of course, I'm always playing puzzle games. I'm playing a lot of Luminous. When does Rise come out? It comes out November 11th. You know what? I have a little slide for that. Pew! I don't know if this one's updated quite yet. But either way, yeah, you can join our Discord, discord.gg/enhance to get all Luminous Arise news. I am so excited for everyone to have the chance to play this game, check out the journey mode, and see what's in store. There's still a lot we're going to be sharing over the next few months. For features that have not been shown yet. So super excited for everyone to get their hands on it and to play with me. Burst Battle is very lonely when the game is only accessible to a few people. Okay, so we got Morg versus Mogar. Morg versus Mogars. Good luck, have fun. I think Coffee and Tetris is asking your preferred level. Maybe I see Coffee and Tetris typing. $13 is great. Ahead of the game. All right. Good luck. Have fun, you too. Play TGM 4, referring to Tetris Grandmaster 4. Help me learn how to manage 20D. Yeah, that's a good point. That game is all about the high gravity, right? You've been playing Silk Song? Yeah, I've been playing the first Hollow Knight. I mean, okay, I work in the gaming industry. I feel like I can't not play it just because everyone's playing it. I just want to be a part of the fad or the bandwagon, whatever you want to call it. With that being said, I just love Metroidvania games anyway, so I'm surprised I never got around to it. I remember it was that and Celeste I was thinking about playing for a long time. But yeah, I'm working through the first one. Probably like 60-70% done. What's the other? I played this other Metroidvania game on PS. Was it on PS Plus? Ender Lilies. That was a good game. Has anyone played that? Any other Metroidvania fans? I think that was the last one I played before Hollow Knight. All right, both players are rocking the traditional block skins here. Morgan Shock comes to mind. AKA Coffee and Tetris on Discord, is really able to maintain a very clean 9-0 stack with the open well on the right side. And just really has a good sense of fundamentals when it comes to keeping the stack clean, which is always a treat to see. And it gets you pretty far in score attack until you do have to... There are players that are going to kind of force you, like, okay, I'm going to skill check you. You have to T-spin at this point. But good fundamentals will take you a long way in any multiplayer game mode. Just keeping things nice and simple. I recommend doing that before you move on into the treacherous territory of the endless skill cap game that is Tetris. Excuse me. I muted my mic because I had a scratch in my throat for about 5 minutes that I was really trying to put off. Anyways, with that being said, this is a really close game. Mogar may have the a little bit messier of a board, but is mixing in the T-spins, it looks like. Unfortunately, can't get that the level 13 high level gravity will mess with your stacking intuitions. It's like, I'm so used to being able to set up a T-spin there, but unfortunately you can't piece crawl in certain situations, so you're gonna have to when you really get into a high level score attack, you have to kind of understand what are the best setups to consistently T-spin. With that being said, you're able to take some burns and still match players if you can mix in those T-spin doubles. Oh, I still never played Metroid Dread. I don't know why I was hesitant. I've played like every other Metroid game. I think I saw how long is Metroid Dread? I think my concern was it was kind of a short game, which is not a bad thing, I guess, but I just wanted to get some mileage out of my next game I was playing, I guess. Maybe I should check it out. Yeah, I hope you all are enjoying the Silk Song. I'll get around to it. Mogar getting up high here. Still ahead on score because they are mixing in the T-spin, so at some point, I feel like if you have T-spin knowledge, you're going to be able to know how to bring the board down to some extent. As I say that, it's getting a little hairy here. Okay, that was just lag. I thought I was like, I misdropped for a moment. There we go. Oh, actually setting up the T-spin, I dig it. I dig the aggression here. I'm going to keep that score lead because of it, rather than down stack into that Tetris. But at a certain point, yeah, you might just want to bring the board down sooner than later. Although, if you can bring down the board with some efficiency, then by all means. It's just tricky. And or risky. Oh. That was a mishold on the T piece. Morg's just Tetrising away and keeping up. But the main reason Mogar is doing so well is mixing in those T-spins. However, it's coming to the detriment of their board state. So if Morg continues to Tetris, might be able to get caught up with the back-to-back bonuses. Morg is now in the lead. Also has a line lead, keep that in mind. So Morg is ahead by about 20 lines. meaning that Mogar will have more runway, if it comes to it, to eat into that score lead. Oh, welcome in, RNA. Okay, so we're getting towards the level 20s as players progress here. Looking like Morg will be the first to hit that mark. And we'll see if Morg can maintain a clean stat going into these higher gravity levels, where we really are going to see the test of high gravity skill is going to be like post level 25. Mogar can get caught up with the T-spin knowledge. That risk is kind of going to be necessary at this point. However, bear in mind, Mogar is still behind by 20 lines. If Mogar were to get Tetrises for the next 5, if they got 5 Tetrises over the next 20 lines, that would actually put them in the lead. So this is actually a very close match. Morg sets up that Tetris, but does not really have a clean follow-up. There's a few things you could do, actually. Looks like I'm just going to opt for the triple setup and just have that empty, or have a row poking at the bottom. Oh, I'm going to have to counter-rotate for that. Even then, I don't know if you can. There we go. So yeah, Morg's going to be playing one row up for a bit. If not the rest of the game. Yeah, this is turning out to be a pretty close match. Mogar is actually closing in on the line gap, however, not really bringing in the score with it. With that being said, they're going for T-spin doubles, and that T-spin double is worth about 40k. So, yeah, this is a really close match. Morg's just going to opt for these back-to-back Tetrises, which is a good bet. But if Mogar can mix in some T-spins here on high gravity, they will have the ability to get caught up. So we'll see how this plays out here. Is that T-spin double for Mogar? I think Mogar might have a minor efficiency lead, but we'll see if they can keep that going into the high gravity, post level 25 especially. And I'm a little unsure of how Coffee and Tetris, aka Morg, can handle this high gravity. So they'll set precedent here for Mogar. Kind of set the pace. And they're doing pretty good, honestly. Stacking a little more cleanly, but hey, any score you can get on these higher gravity levels is going to add up. Mogar is still mixing in some T-spins. It's going to come down to if Mogar can play on these high gravity levels. If they can, they should be able to get caught up. With that being said, like, oh man, this is going to be close. A score attack. There's something about watching high-level score attack. It can at times be like a little bit, yeah, I'm seeing the same thing over and over, but it gets so tense at this like when it's so close. Oh man, that misdrop. Can this be corrected? Oh, the lock. It locks in too quick. 25 against a lot of people. But yeah, Mogar did have just barely an efficiency advantage over Morg, but Morg able to play later into the game and secure some extra lines. GG. Very close. But yeah, with that being said, I think it's no secret if any community member knows my favorite Tetris Pect multiplayer mode is Zone Battle. But I still think some of the most memorable matches for me from not commentating, but hosting the Tetris Effect Connected World Championship have been score attack matches between the top players. Just because when it gets like to the final few levels and the intensity of it, it's something different. I guess classic Tetris is also beloved for that reason in terms of competitive play. But all right, GG. Up next, we have Shock and Got You Sauce, I believe. Farox, correct me if I'm wrong. I just saw your message as well. Ooh. RNA, are you playing tonight? Got your sauces in here. And yeah, so Shock, if you're ready and listening, we're waiting for you. Room code is in the Discord. Yeah, I was just catching up on chat. So we have, for whatever reason, there's a lot of Celeste fans in the Tetris community. I'll have to check it out at some point. Alright, so Shock versus Got Yo Sauce. Good luck, have fun. Ooh, level 20 start. Starting spicy here. So pretty much instant drop to the bottom. There might be some actuallys about that statement, but which feel free to actually me about. I know there's some caveats with it, but it's, yeah, pretty much instant gravity. And yeah, Shock was the other player I mentioned that has really clean 9-0 stacking fundamentals. I do want to share here, I know we have mostly Tetris players here, but I was about to bring up, we do have a community guide on our TetrisEffect.game page if you ever just want to like browse through. There might be some fundamental things that may have gone over your head. There's also an advanced guide on TetrisEffect.game/community. Scroll down to the bottom, there will be the community guides there. And yeah, we're planning to do the same thing for Luminous, if we have any Luminous players in the chat. We'll be opening up a Discord forum soon to kind of get that started and have some discussion with our Luminous players on fundamentals, stacking strategies, stuff like that. But yeah, we're just populating it a little bit to get it started, and then we'll open the floodgates, and hopefully we have a lot of contributors. Tetris, there's plenty of Tetris strategy guides out there and websites. Not as many for Luminous, so hopefully we can have a good place to house all that, especially for all the Tetris players that are trying to get into it for the first time. And I sincerely believe if you enjoy Tetris, you're going to enjoy Luminous for the same reasons. When you get over that initial hump, it could just be a little trickier to learn at first, but when you do, it's super satisfying. Okay, so Gaia Sauce with an 8-1 stack. Manja could be a little trickier to maintain on high gravity, but maybe you just kind of wound up that way, and we'll see if that gets cleaned up. A little bit of latency there. Oh, it turned into a 7-2 stack. Okay. See where Gaia Sauce is going with it. Meanwhile, Shock managed to go from a 9-0 into a 0-9 well. Burst mechanic is both confusing and simple. I think you could probably say the same about Zone before you got used to Zone, right? I think that's a good thing. It's yeah, it helps you out of sticky situations. It's really helpful for down stacking. But also at high level, there's a lot you can do with it, which is good to have a mechanic that is beneficial to players of all skill levels, or interesting at least. Hey Twizz, you have the right idea. That's a great starting point. Just match match the colors around the square. I think you got the core concept. So this is a pretty close match. Same line count too, so neck and neck here. Gaia Sauce taking some burns. I think Gaia Sauce is just kind of the same dynamic we saw between Mogar and Morg, mixing in T-spins. Even though there's more line clears happening, that T-spin efficiency is to die for. Oh, using the hold to... that's a great way to kind of resolve some of your mistakes that you make on the fly, is use hold and try the same execution again. Especially in high gravity, where it's like your piece may be unrecoverable from an area down low that you weren't able to piece crawl over. You can use that hold piece and then use better finesse or execution on the second time around to make sure that your Tetramedio gets where it's supposed to be. Super pro tip with the T-spin triple notch. There are some untraditional overhang possibilities. You can actually use an L or a J. I guess in that case, the J piece would have worked for an overhang. It doesn't look right, but it works. So Shock running into some issues here. Oh, we are already on level 25. That was quick because we started level 20. Oh, this is close then. Shock has a 60k lead, but that could diminish very quickly if we top out sooner than later here. Especially Gaia Sauce is a bit lower on the board, albeit she is still like over halfway up the board. And that's going to do it. I think Gaia Sauce may have got a T-spin. I didn't even see it there. I think it got caught up there because of latency. But, yeah, playing more efficient there than Shock and still managing to survive on these high levels. Nicely played. Came down to the wire. He's probably got a little too high for... comfort there on Shock's side. Shock could have survived a few more levels there, might have been a different story, but easier said than done. Yeah, very similar line efficiency. 4,400 and 4,200. Wait, that doesn't make sense. How did Shock have a... Oh, Shock had... Wait, am I crazy? Did I misread everything there? I thought Gaiusas caught the lead there for a moment. Okay, so Shock won. I don't know if it was latency or I'm just crazy. It might have been the latter. Very likely the latter. I've watched a lot of Tetris. But Shock actually taking the win there. I don't know why I thought Gaiusas won there. GG's. So, okay, that changes my narrative then. Well, Shock able to clear 10 more lines, and using that the fundamental Tetris back-to-backing to their advantage to nab that victory. Okay. Who do we have up next? Grass Pelt and Knighting, unless Farox says otherwise here. Creative name are you playing tonight? Uh-oh. Got a new programming chat rabbit hole. Any rabbit holes about programming or maybe the universe? Those are some usually deep rabbit holes. Okay. Knighting's in here. Grass Pelt when you're ready. Are we doing any fun, weird settings? Let's see. Oh, we are. Let's type out... Oh, I see. Okay. Let's go through these settings together here. So we have a request for only Tetris's count. Wait. So single 0. Tetris. Okay, Tetris only. Back to back 100. T-spins 200. All right. Combos 500. All clears 100. All right, weirdos, we're doing it. All right, this should be interesting. Combos 500. I feel like we've tried that before, and it's been... I don't know if it was OP or not. I actually don't know. All right, we're about to find out. T-spin zeros, my beloved. Oh, true. T-spin zeros are going to be really strong here. Can you guys do like the Gamma Shiro into a 4-wide? That might be good here. Oh, wait. Actually, comboing might be tricky with the high gravity. Wait, T-spin 000? That's next level. How much is that worth? 17K for a T-spin 000. That's so cool. All right. That's funny. Yeah, we did see that in our recent TCWC championship with Siake Gohan versus Shocky and Score Attack. Siaka Gohan was getting a lot of extra points from T-Spin Zeros, which is really cool to see. He T-spun every T-piece he had. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So on the strategy, they were using the ST stacking. Maybe like when they reset, just make sure you get a T-spin in somehow. I'm surprised they're not going for ST stacks here. Or is that not the most efficient way to handle this score mode? Oh, wait, I'm dumb. It's because, if you have doubles and triples turned off, does the T-spin bonus not count? Is that what it is? Oh, okay. I think I just got the gimmick. Okay. So they get 0 points for a T-spin clear because doubles and triples are disabled, so they're just trying to get Tetrises and T-spin zeros. T-spin zeros just means a T-spin that doesn't line clear. Okay, that's interesting. Because, yeah, singles, doubles, and triples are turned off. So they have to be a 0. With combos at 500%, is that even, like, a good thing? I guess if you do a T-spin 0 and get at least one line clear, I don't know. Yeah, I guess if you did a T-spin, or no, it would just have to be a back-to-back Tetris, you're right. I see. What a goofy setup. So, by the way, these are two pretty talented players, and just goes to show top players like to have fun, too. By the way, yeah, I know some of you may be still looking for matches. Feel free to... I think Score Attack, especially of all the multiplayer modes, is really fun to mess around with the custom settings. Same with Classic, but you can really change up how Score Attack plays, as we see here. Because they're playing optimally. They're like just trying to go for T-spin zeros and Tetrises, which you would never do in the base ranked mode at a high level. Yeah, definitely have fun with it. The other thing that mixes up Score Attack the most is the bag system, probably. So you can go from a predictable bag system, like the 7 bag, turn on Classic bag or pure RNG, and that really changes up how Score Attack plays out as well. Oh, we got a raid. I don't have event notifications turned on my side here, but thank you. Are there any Tetris events coming up this weekend in the community, I wonder? There was a stint for a minute there where we had a Tago tournament every other weekend. We were raiding Tago. Okay. Grass Pelt with that T-spin 0 into the Tetris. Nothing, things are getting a little... What if... Okay, hear me out, Farox. He's usually good at this kind of thing. What if you combo... What if you did a 4-wide over a... This sounds horrible, actually. No, I already know the answer. If you 4-wide over a Tetris well, and then your last part of the combo was a Tetris, would that be worth it? So say you did a 12 combo where the first 11 lines were worth nothing, but you got a Tetris at the end. Four combo than a Tetris. I missed that. Well, that being said, okay, in terms of competitive, I know we're just theory crafting here, but Knighting does have quite the lead here, 100k, but is ahead by 15 lines. So this is really close. Oh, look at that huge T-spin 000 from Grass Pelt. There was the back-to-back Tetris. I think Knighting will have an advantage going into later levels, unless I'm underestimating Grass Pelt's master level capabilities. I just know Knighting's... I know for certain Knighting's really good at it. Knighting, that's when you know it's a goofy rule set, when you're intentionally avoiding the T-spin. There's that level 29. So this is really winnable for Grass Pelt, actually. But singles and doubles aren't worth anything, and there's a lot of that on later levels. So you like have to get a Tetris, T-spin, or nothing, pretty much, or an all clear, I guess. And unfortunately, that is not in the cards for Grass Pelt. I don't think we've done that gimmick before. That was interesting. Have we done that before? Grass Pelt might have done it before, but just only T-spin 0s and Tetrises. That's fun to watch. GG. GG. All right, who's up next? We're probably getting to the end of the list here, aren't we? So we have Tago versus Farox. That's a high-level game. Are you two ready to play? Otherwise, we could do another match first. I'll let Farox let me know. Oh, wait. Farox DM. Oh, I see. Okay. Is that you, Tago? Who's Agnes? Oh, fix the rules. Yeah, unless everyone wants to play on that rule set now. What are we gonna call that rule set? Cursed? T-spin 0 rule set. All right, looks like both players are ready. Good luck, have fun. Now, I don't think we saw any ST stacking yet tonight for Score Attack Night. I'll be surprised if we don't see it here. I know Farox has been... Have you been practicing the Infinite TST kind of stuff? We'll see if we see that at all. infinite T-spin triple setups, which I think on paper are really good. Oh. All right, we're going to reset. Oh, a draw. Very rare. I might be, fun fact, I might be one of the only players that unintentionally had a draw in a competitive match against Dormy. I don't know if anyone here recalls that. That was ancient Tetris Effect history. Okay. Yeah, what happened is I thought I won and I topped out and we had the same score. So we had a draw and had to replay the match. That was in classic score attack. Or was it? I can't remember if it was intentional or not, but we topped out with the same score and just had to replay it. Pretty sure I thought I won and I was topping out, then I realized it and I couldn't even get a stop drop point. Okay, so we got Tago here on the left. Double horse avatars, very nice. In fact, you get the horse avatar from score attack. 100 ranked score attack wins. Which makes it one of the more rare avatars. That one and the spider. So spider is 100 ranked score attack wins during the full moon. So yeah, those are the rarest avatars probably in the game. Yeah, the thing about CSA, though, is I think the matches... You probably get more matches because there's less SR inflation, for one. Because you're bound to make mistakes in Classic that just end you. And the games tend to go faster. But yeah, it's probably... The Classic Full Moon equivalent is probably the second rarest. There's also the Connected Versus ones. But I don't think those are too hard to get. Thing is, on the full moon, also people just play Connected Versus, and they're not necessarily trying to play 1v1 all the time. So there's also that aspect of it. Maybe, Nathan, yeah. I guess you do have to pilot on Saturday, don't you? I think you can get... Can you get some of those achievements offline? Or maybe you have to do that one online. I know you can do some of those in friend matches. It's been a while since I've thought about all of the avatar unlocks. I think it's safe to say, though, the score attack ones are the rarest. Then yeah, it's probably either the Connected Versus or... Zone Battle is just a very popular mode, so you're likely going to find the games, and as long as you're opening the queue and playing, you'll get those avatars. Anyways, so we have about a 40-80k lead from Tago on the left. However, Tago is ahead by a lot of lines, actually, nearly 30. So Farox has a huge efficiency bonus here, or advantage, rather. Taking their time. it'll be hard to kind of force, like, it's hard to even suggest what to do from here for Tago, right? Against a player like Farox, who is a contender to win a score attack TCWC, honestly, so. It's really going to have to come down to, you're going to need like stellar efficiency and go into like level 33 or something. The focus, yeah, you got to be so focused when you're playing against somebody like Farox's score attack and just kind of hit everything. My advice to beat Farox is kind of like join our full moon hangouts on Saturday. Maybe simultaneously like talk smack and be like, oh, I'm playing horrible. Maybe he'll let off the gas a little bit, get a little too overly confident. Then you might be able to sneak in some extra, you know, sneak in a win here and there. All right, so Tago's showing off some really nice piece wiggling, by the way, to stay alive here on level 29. I'm horrible at that. Ooh, getting level 30. Can we get a level 31 from Tago? Possibly. Doing a really good job on the top 5 rows there. Going to top out just under 2 mil with that 10k average. It's a killer average for nearly everyone here. But they're playing against Farox, who's on a tear right now, I think. Already 2.2 at level 26. Ooh, I love that skim that we just saw from Farox. That was like very subtle, but also very clean. All right, not able to maintain the T-spinning, but see if Farox can. Maybe Tago can still win on line count, but Farox is so low to the board that that might not work out. Ooh, it's gonna be close. Ooh, Farox wins on line count. Hit level 31. It's one more line. You got it. Yeah, there we go. 200 lines. That's a really killer level 20 start. 2.524. GG. I'm not sure what the 20 world record is. I know it's lower for, or higher for lower level starts because you have a little bit longer runway. But yeah, very nicely played. Up next, yeah, I think Commodore Friday is already in here. We got Commodore Friday and Baron. If you're still around. About to be pinged. Oh, whoops, my bad. The bot wanted, Fair bot wanted to run it back for Tago there. Oh, I think I messed up. I goofed up the commands, Farox, save me. I think actually it's it's Baron versus Commodore Friday, and then after that we'll do Twizz versus Pac-Man. Oh, that's why it happened. Okay, me and Farox. Using command simultaneously. Sorry about that. I don't know if Twizz will want to give it a try against Commodore Friday. Might be a mismatch, but you never know. like Twizz is underrated. Otherwise, we can maybe get someone, yeah, if there's anyone else around. 8,500 that wants to play. Rated F for fun. I would love to see them compete. I think they thought about it in the past. They were just very focused on Marathon for a very long time. Oh, Stoge guy. I'll let Farox. Farox, you can handle the future play here. While Farox is handling that, you guys heard of this other puzzle game? Do you like following block games? Well, you are gonna like Luminous Arise, coming out November 11th. If you have any questions for me about the game, I'll answer what I can. I will not answer what I can't answer. But yeah, I know we're all Tetris players here, and as someone that really hasn't played Luminous until they worked at Enhance, I absolutely love this game now, and I sincerely believe if you are a Tetris player and you get over that initial hump with Luminous, you will love it too. So be sure to give it your thoughts via a wish list, ideally, on Steam or PS5. The game is beautiful. It's kind of the next step for our team in terms of synesthesia via inside the blocks and the visuals around it. 35 plus stages, so there's going to be plenty of it. You won't want to miss it. We'll be hosting a lot of events around that time, so hope you all take the dive. And if you really want to take the dive, maybe learn Luminous a little earlier so you can show off and multiplayer around then. It's looking like either way we're gonna have a mismatch. Farox. Oh, I see Baron typing. I got a question. Will it be able to run on an Intel Arc GPU? Because I'm getting a new handheld gaming PC. It runs. How does Tetris Effect run on there? I feel like it's this good like test for it. Of course, we are gonna do our best to make sure it's optimized to run, because it's gonna run on a Steam Deck, right? It runs well on a Steam Deck. I don't know if that's a good way for you to measure. However, your handheld's gonna. I'm not sure about that specific GPU, honestly, but I might be able to answer that in the future. I miss when the global leaderboard counted connected mode, because I was, oh yeah, number 5 in the world. I forget, how did it even count connected mode? I remember the leaderboard being scuffed for some reason. That was before I said enhance. Yeah, leaderboards change a lot in the months following, just for stability reasons, I feel like. Stoge guy, I don't know if did you have the chance to check out the demo, Mr. Rise demo? Well, either way, yeah, you could always reach out to me in the future, especially once our specs are more laid out and stuff like that. We'll be sharing a lot in the coming months. Can we have a teeny tiny at the time attack music? I cannot do that right now, but like I said, we'll have a lot of news to share in the coming months, and some breadcrumbs and new features, game modes, stuff like that. And for sure you'll hear some new music, and on launch day you'll hear a whole lot of new music. It looks like Twizz is in here. Are we just gonna do we can just do Twizz versus, let's see. Okay, yeah, Twizz versus Pac-Man. think Pac-Man was in here. Either way, somebody should play so that we can get this going. All right, yeah. Whoever is up first in the 1-player slot and the 2-player slot, you are the next match. That's the new rule here. All right, got Commodore Friday. All right, we're doing it. Baron vs. Commodore Friday. Good luck, have fun, you too. Oh, absolutely, Twizz. You know it. Can't wait for the last stage of Luminous Araya's journey, where we get a 10 sweep long burst. That's a reference to the Metamorphosis stage. I was reading chat, by the way. That was not a not from the enhanced team, unless Zero the Fool is from the enhanced team. Okay. So Baron rocking the ST stack here on the right side. So yeah, with the ST stack, you kind of have that rogue. It turns out to be a red column in column 9. You tend to fill in the long bars on the right and left side. Usually put your long bar on the right first because the left is more likely to be open. I'm trying to think if there's a case for why you would want to put your long bar on the left side first. But it can be pretty hard to maintain, although it is so... Well, actually, okay, there's two things. If you make a mistake with your ST stack, it can be hard to recover. That's probably a better way to put it. But it's actually, when you get the pattern down, it's fairly easy. It's one of the easier patterns when it comes to maintaining like perfect T-spin doubles. Although it's not quite as efficient as something like LST, you still see it at the highest level due to its consistency and reliability when it comes to setting up T-spin doubles. And there's a lot of creativity that comes with that recovery I mentioned, so it can be cool to see how players manage to fix their mistakes when they mess up ST, because when you mess up ST, it feels kind of rough, especially if you're newer to the stacking pattern. There's things like what's called the hamburger stack. Yes, it's called the hamburger stack. And there's other terminology, I'm sure, for ways to recover your ST stack. And Commodore Friday rocking the 6-3 and doing a pretty good job. Is ahead on the line, so probably closer in efficiency than it looks. Especially since Baron had some mishaps, but now is kind of keeping it nice and clean. Ooh, look at that. Mixes in the what's called a C-spin, that T-spin triple into a T-spin double. Yeah, I believe we have a guide link here in our Twitch chat. Totally recommend it. It can be intimidating, but you actually pick up on it quite quickly if you are an avid Tetris player. When it does click, it's satisfying. I totally recommend giving it a try. It can help you for other game modes in single player too, like trying to get a high score in Marathon or something like that. It's a good strategy as well. Do any of you use ST stacking in Zone Marathon, I wonder? I feel like Zone Marathon is really fun to freestyle, but I'd be curious if anyone has gotten to, if their PB is because of ST stacking. All right. So Baron nabbing the lead now, just barely. Commodore Friday is ahead of line, so there is a slight efficiency gap here. Still anybody's game. Looks like Commodore Friday is still mostly doing Tetrises, but is doing so cleanly. Baron running into more mistakes here despite the higher T-spin frequency. But Baron does have a higher efficiency currently. Just not really easy to see because of the line discrepancy. Yeah, thanks for considering playing. Creative name. Yeah, we'll be getting a little late here. I'm sure we'll see some creative name in the future. All right, so Baron looking for that T-spin. I wonder if they're going to go for the long bar here first. Oh, okay. Yeah, setting up a T-spin double. Now, how can Commodore Friday get caught up here? Well, there's one, you could go for more T-spins. Two, you could be able to play into later levels. About to sneeze. Whoa! Two, you can go into later levels, or three, just play cleanly and hope that Baron makes some mistakes, which does happen. Thank you, Dr. Jules. Thank you, Doc. Yeah, I'm usually good about muting my mic when I have to sneeze, but that one jump scared me even. I was like in the middle of a discussion. Yeah, Baron really piling on the score leading. And if Baron keeps a really clean post level 20, you're going to see it pile on more just because T-spins and Tetrises are worth more. So if you're really getting that back-to-back bonus going here, these levels are the most important when it comes to scoring. So I think as we see from Commodore Friday running into some issues, keeping a nice clean stack here, whereas Baron is continuing to T-spin. That's really where this big lead kind of came out of nowhere, was due to. So Baron pretty comfortable here on these later levels. Ooh, can Commodore Friday survive? That's a negative. Got to 229 lines. Level 25, 4,600 average. Nicely done. But Baron is putting on a pretty good game here. Let's see how late Baron can play. Yeah, already at 1.7 million, so pretty tough cookie to crack here for Commodore Friday. So up next, we're going to have our final game, Twizz and Pac-Man. Pac-Man going to get a second game in here so Twizz can play. All right, level 29. Who's gonna have the highest level here tonight? I think Baron actually has the most lines cleared because they started on a lower level. But doesn't break level 29. Nicely played. GG. By learning FC stacking. I will say you kept up really nicely into the later levels there. But yeah, even mixing in like Kaidens or other T-spins, whether it's freestyle, especially on later levels where you might be playing a little scrappier anyways, that might be a good time to freestyle T-spin. Okay, Pac-Man and Twizz, ready for you. Good luck, have fun. Oh, hopping right into that. Right into the next match. That's what I like to see. Yes, yeah. So if you wiggle your pieces, you do get a little more time to think, especially on like levels 15. You have a lot of wiggle room. You got a lot of wiggle room. But even just for something like marathon mode or like yes, also the later the level becomes, the faster you have to wiggle. So personally, I try not to do it because it kind of messes with the way I think. I'll do it on the lower levels. So on level 15, I actually do it quite a bit, whether I rotate the piece or wiggle, so it doesn't lock in. You can get a lot of thinking time on level 15 that way. On later levels, though, especially when I'm preparing to go in like post 29, I just prefer to just try my best to piece read and maintain my dash speed. I'm not good enough at the wiggle control at that level. That's up to you. Yes, with the O piece. So with the square piece, you can actually rotate it. It doesn't look like it's rotating, but it is. And that's another great way to delay. All right, Twizz throwing down some T-spins here. Down the board a little bit. Yeah, just trying to find their way out of this situation. It looks like is going to set up for a 7-2 stack. Does have a long bar dependency on the left, and kind of like one sneaking up here on. Oh yeah, that's a great way to thwart it there. So you can set up a delayed burn for that T-spin, and there it is. Meanwhile, Pac-Man, okay, going for the 9-0 stack. Keep it nice and clean. I think this should be a back-to-back for Pac-Man here on the next long bar. Yep, there it is. That back-to-back bonus will add up for certain if you can maintain it. Oftentimes can be what makes or breaks a game at any level. And transition nicely into the 0-9. So depending on how your stack is going, you don't have to force a certain well, right? If you're adaptable to multiple board states like Pac-Man here, able to translate a stack where they ended up stacking more on the right side. Then they're like, okay, I'll just move my Tetris well to left, easy peasy. You can do the same for center wells where, say you're having trouble maintaining a 6-3, but there's like a 7-2 option or a way to transition into another well. Feel free to do so. But Twizz does have this lead here by about 30k, which isn't too much, especially once they get into later levels. That's like less than a Tetris. It's a pretty close game here. All right, Twizz dropping that T-spin double on this kind of 7-2 setup they have going here. If Twizz can time it correctly, they could actually Tetris into that open column. Okay, actually just going to take the birds now. I respect that. And Pac-Man is keeping it nice and civil back into their 9-0 well. We've seen a lot of clash of playstyles tonight with people just going for the old school Tetris or nothing setup, and then players trying to mix in T-spins. And they've turned out to be pretty close games. Simply due to it's just harder to maintain T-spin stacks. Ooh. Kind of an odd double square placement there for Twizz, but it's okay to make mistakes in Tetris. Oftentimes on turns into another setup that you didn't really perceive would be there to begin with. Sometimes I make mistakes and I roll with it as if I actually intentionally went with that setup. It's like, oh, ended up being a beautiful T-spin. I was not aware of this, but let's just play it cool and act like I went for this T-spin from the get-go. So Twizz making some burns, and Pac-Man does find that Tetris. Twizz does have a bit of a lead while being behind by 5 lines. Kind of went from 30k, just slowly accruing a lead here, meaning that Pac-Man can still get caught up, especially with the more volatile nature of the later levels, with the score being higher for each Tetris and T-spin. Pac-Man almost set up for a T-spin there. So when it comes to learning T-spins, one, definitely take a stab at it and try to, pick it up on your side as a player. But two, I feel like I picked up T-spins the most just by watching other players. So whether they're on Twitch or YouTube videos or watching pro players play, really try to intake what they're doing. You can even slow down the video on YouTube, stuff like that. Pause the video, try to guess where they're going to place the piece to set up for their T-spin. Little things like that go a long way, and that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel with what is the most optimal way to T-spin. If you work 40 hours per week, I don't expect you to come up with the next T-spinning innovation. You can let the other trailblazers do that for you, and just try to pick up on their habits. All right, Pac-Man in a little bit of trouble up here. We're getting over the halfway up the board mark. Twizz with a 100k lead. This is surmountable by Pac-Man still. Not completely lost yet. Especially if Twizz runs into issues, and It's unable to keep up with the... Ooh, nice T-spin triple. That might be huge, actually, in the long run here for Twizz. Oops, my chat is not connected. Reload this. Oh, whoops, I did miss some chat. How about that, guys? Actually recently had an absolutely catastrophic reset during a connected zone. That's not a misdrop, that's a T-spin setup, yes. They don't need to know it's a misdrop. For all they know, you are an amazing T-spin prophet. All right, well, we are getting into the final stretch here. 10-minute round. That's why we do best of ones for Score Attack Night. If you're ever wondering in TECWC, why is it taking them 30 minutes to play their best of 2 Score Attack match? Because Score Attack matches can go quite the distance. I say best of 2, I meant first of 2, or best of 3. Either way, what is the win here for Pac-Man? If Pac-Man can get into scoring Tetrises, easier said than done. They can actually gain the lead here. But Twizz is still scoring and still mixing in that T-spin 0. So looking like Twizz is going to be pretty hard to beat here unless Pac-Man can go God mode here. Get the power pellet or whatever it's called. Have any of you seen the Pac-Man? Oh, what was it called? I haven't watched any of the series, but there's like level 1 or something. I know there's a Doom one. There's a Pac-Man one. I think it was on Netflix. There's like a series of shorts about each game. Somebody can help me with this. I have to look it up. Secret Level, yeah. Have any of you watched Secret Level? Enjoy it? I need to get around to that. All right, well, Pac-Man tops out at 535K. Meaning Twizz is our victor. But thanks for playing again, Pac-Man, and for hanging out all night with us. Now, Twizz, it's up to you to keep me here. If you can play for another 5 minutes, this stream goes on for another 5 minutes. So, to see if you can hit that level 40, keep me here against my will. And I will showcase your skill on our community showcase for as long as you can hold it. But yeah, while Twizz is finishing out here, thank you to everyone that did participate tonight. Always fun for me to have an excuse to hang out with you all and play some games on Friday going into the weekend. And yeah, I'm going to be like a broken record when it comes to Luminous Arise for a good reason. It's a big part of what we're doing each and every day right now at Enhance. So yeah, expect more Luminous Arise events in the future, which may mean less of our TEC showcases, especially going into the Luminous Arise launch. But I think I could hope that you all would understand why that is. So yeah, super excited to start hosting events for that game. And GG. Twizz, you got a dub here on our showcase. Yeah, thank you guys for playing. Thank you all for showing up per usual. And who was our Knighting and Grass Pelt for the really goofy, gimmicky T-Spin Zero gameplay we saw earlier. That was a lot of fun. And with that, I think we're going to call it. So thank you all for tuning in. Let me see if there's anyone else in the category real quick that I am familiar with. You know what? Let's say hi to Classic Tetris Land. So yeah, if you are a Classic Score Attack fan of Tetris Effect, you are likely familiar with the Classic Tetris World Championship, which is why this game mode exists in Tetris Effect. I believe there is a event all weekend there, here in the Northeast Regional. Is it in Vermont or New York? I'm not too sure. We'll have to find out after this raid, but hey, if you're in the area, you could always stop by and play some Tetris with them. So give it some thought. Yeah, it was a fun stream, so thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you next Friday, most likely. Stay tuned. Look out for that community event ping. And yeah, we'll get in as many showcases as we can. So until next week, bye everybody.